Engineer Mustafa, President of World Council of Civil Engineers, Engineer Emilio, incoming President, Federation of African Engineering Organization, Engineer Telezi, President of the European Council of Civil Engineers, Engineer Bradner, engineers, distinguished guests, good morning. You know, when CS Kipchumba Murkomen invited me to this conference, he did not tell me that I'll be addressing so many presidents. I must admit I'm rather intimidated. I'm only used to addressing one president in Kenya, but I'll try to measure up to addressing so many presidents. Please, if I don't measure to your expectation, forgive me. It is a pleasure to address engineers, a gathering of great minds. Our President, His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, sends his greetings and best wishes. We welcome our guests to Kenya, and for those who have come from across the world, on behalf of President William Ruto and the government of the Republic of Kenya and the people of Kenya, I want to say you are most welcome to this country. And please don't be in a hurry to leave. Christmas and New Year is just approaching. You can remain behind and spend a few dollars, a few euros, and other hard currencies that we really desire as a country. We are delighted to host the 18th General Assembly of the World Council of Civil Engineers under the theme, Engineering a New World. Engineers, distinguished guests, we are discussing engineering a new world because we want to do things differently. Kenya is hosting this international conference when the country is deep into the El Nino, a phenomenon that has disconnected and destroyed infrastructure, especially roads, and buildings are under risk too. Nature is telling us to rethink our strategy and thus rethink our engineering. For instance, El Nino is reminding us that the same technology of building roads is not the engineering of a new world. This is important for Kenya and Africa, a region that is rapidly developing. Engineers and distinguished guests, to rethink our engineering, there must be a paradigm shift, especially in the education system, to groom and nurture new talent and skills. In Kenya, for instance, we are implementing the competence-based curriculum, which focuses more on nurturing skills and talents. In such a system, students gifted in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects will be helped to sharpen their skills for better results. Considering that engineering is one of the most expensive courses, we have revised the funding model for tertiary education to enable students from poor economic backgrounds access the course of their choice. In our commitment to deliver reforms in the education sector, we allocated 27.4% of our national budget in the current financial year. Eminent engineers and distinguished guests, World Bank notes that Africa heavily relies on imported expertise in engineering, resulting from poor quality of education and minimal numbers of graduates from learning institutions. Thousands of our students are studying abroad on scholarships and other exchange programs in our bid to strengthen the local capacity for sustainability. This is largely true for most of our African peers. We'll continue to deepen the collaboration with our development partners in enhancing local expertise in various ways as we seek to close the over 7,000 gap of engineers in the country. We are ready to work with the Institute of the Engineers of Kenya in addressing this gap. It is a call that we share with our sister states in Africa if our continent is to actively contribute to development. May I take this opportunity to emphasize that engineering for a new world must be driven by barrier-breaking innovation. Generating new knowledge means we sharpen the existing expertise through intensified research and development. companies and organizations have no option but to heavily invest in research and development. As the saying goes, a machete that is not sharpened often rusts. Engineers, we note with admiration that Africa is undergoing rapid transformation through multi-billion US dollar projects. Certainly, Africa is a continent of today, not the future, as often said. There are immense opportunities of investment in various sectors, ranging from agriculture, manufacturing and industry, digital technology, affordable housing, affordable health, among others. We are excited that partners are working with us in investing in these areas. On the other hand, Kenya has just emerged from one of the longest droughts in 4 decades. A number of countries in Africa are facing crises linked to climate change, a factor that is negatively impacting on socio-economic growth. While implementing massive development projects, environment-conscious approach in engineering is inevitable. People-centered engineering is environment-focused. That is why engineering is about providing quality of life, not driving humanity to extinction. Engineers and distinguished guests, engineering is a critical enabler to realize of SDGs, Agenda 2063 of the African Union, and Kenya's Vision 2030, as underpinned by the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Better is our government plans of socio-economic transformation. As we engineer a new world, rapid urbanization in Kenya and Africa has been put to test, especially in collapsing of buildings, bridges, and other infrastructure. We lose people to collapsing buildings and substandard roads, mostly linked to unqualified or uncertified practitioners in the industry. This puts the reputation of the profession under question of a competency of members. We are ready to work with the Engineers Board of Kenya and other relevant agencies in clamping down quacks. Through the right ministries, we invite you for an engagement on legal and policy frameworks. Besides monitoring and regulating education and training, eliminating intruders is one of the ways of restoring dignity to the engineering profession. On this note, I wish to declare the 30th Institution of Engineers of Kenya Annual International Convention and the 18th General Assembly of the World Council of Civil Engineers officially open. That is what I wrote with a small team of people that helped me. I can now speak briefly from my heart and respond to a few issues you have raised. I agree we need to deal with quacks. In this country, we have many quacks. Many people who profess to be engineers, I don't see them here today. And the truth be said, even the professional engineers, we also have a small challenge with a certain percentage. 95% of our engineers are very professional and they do a very good job. And we are proud of you as a profession. All these magnificent buildings are a result of good engineering. People who have not been in Nairobi for a long time, when they come to Nairobi, they lose their way because Nairobi is something different. The Thika Superhighway, the Express Highway, Times Tower, KICC, a building that was put in 1972, still a magnificent piece of architecture and good engineering. And we are really very grateful to the profession. But we have a 5% of engineers who are not very straight. They are not truthful. They lack integrity. They connive with contractors to compromise standards. We have roads that have been started even before the completion date. They are potholes. And those roads were certified by engineers and paid. What the CS Kipchumba is talking about, the airport, I've seen some people castigating him when he said yesterday what happened about Jkia. But that is the truth. You know, people in this country are allergic to truth. And quite a number have a problem with me. But there's nothing they can do. Because the truth is the truth. Jkia was done at a massive cost. But today is a shame to this profession of engineers and architects. Public resources were expended. When you go there, you feel sorry. But engineers, QSs, and architects certified. And on the basis of that certification, payments were made. And that's why I agree with the CS. I think, Engineer Mongera, we may want to look at the law where professionals are held accountable for lapses and for misleading the taxpayer by certifying shoddy jobs. And probably they become culpable criminally. I think that would help this country. And I have seen beautiful work done by many engineers, but the small percentage is spoiling your profession. Because when Kenyans condemn, they don't just condemn that particular engineer, they condemn the whole profession. I think the institute and the engineering board, the registration board, needs to tighten the regulatory self-assessment mechanism so that among yourselves, you instill ethical standards and get rid of people who are not serious from the profession without even having the outside world intervene. I think internally you can have a self-regulation mechanism that is watertight so that those who are spoiling the name of the profession can be weeded out. And then probably they can join us either in politics or in farming or in any other field. I have heard you want to join politics. You want to be brought in the decision-making table. You are welcome. We want to welcome you. And your Honorary Secretary said that in the next cabinet reshuffle, you want to join a cabinet. But even before you join the cabinet, you are well represented. Engineer Joseph Bogwa is a Principal Secretary for Roads, and he is doing a good job in marketing you as good managers. Engineer John Tanui is a Principal Secretary for ICT. Engineer Festus Ngeno is a Principal Secretary for Environment and Climate Change. I don't think you are doing bad. But I don't think there will be a reshuffle because the guys who are there are working well so far. But in the unfortunate event, one of them does not measure up to expectation, and there's a vacancy, we shall consider you. But I trust that you will not sabotage your CS so that he fails, so that you create a vacancy. I think CS Kipchumba Murkomen is the only non-engineer in the ministry. So wacha pia akae na nyinyi hapo, support him so that he succeeds. And you engineers, you are saying that you are happy the president came to your function. I'm here today. It's by choice. And it's very deliberate. Nimwambia nyinyi ukweli. Yeah? The last election, you people, among many other professionals, were incited against us. That's the truth. Professionals were incited against us. That we have no idea about leading a country, we are useless, we are hustlers, sisi ni jua kali, among you people. So we are deliberately getting closer to you so that you understand us. So, tutakuwa na nyinyi. Every function, president or myself will be with you. Mukipiga kona, tunapiga na nyinyi. Mpaka mtuzoe na mtukubali na mtupende. We know one or two things. We are not engineers, lakini sisi ni engineers ya mambo ya nchi. We are not in your league, but we also have our own political engineering. So we are going to be near you. And you can see we are not that bad. Tunajua kitu. So we'll continue engaging with you because you play an important part in our economic development. And professionalism is what our government is all about, strengthening institutions, enhancing their capacity so that we have a beautiful country that is run by professionals. So please give it your all. The President and I and the rest of us will support you to a hilt. You have talked about you people getting involved in county government projects. I'm aware that sometimes the governors are not using professionals. What I will do, the President, I'll organize during the IBEC meeting next, you come and make a presentation to the governors so that you talk to them. You are saying you want to be involved. We have a beautiful program, affordable housing program, to do 200,000 units of houses per year. That is 1 million houses in our 5-year first term. That program has everything to do with you people. Structural engineers will be there, civil engineers will be there, electrical engineers will be there, mechanical engineers will be there. And I want you to request you to participate fully. That is huge investment in this country, and your place is well set. Be part of the affordable housing. And that is why when we were pushing that program, it looked like people thought it's an unpopular thing. There are two things to do: to dignify the people of Kenya by giving them affordable housing, again creating employment for our professionals and for our artisans. So that is a huge opportunity for you people as engineers to get involved. And I want to request you to make sure that we maintain our standards. Even in the whole of this space of 200,000 units per year, it's important that you people help the country to make sure that we maintain our standards so that those houses are safe, not just for now, but for posterity. Again, you have made a request that you want an executive engineering council to sit at the presidency to advise the president. I'll communicate this request to him. And he'll apply his wisdom in the usual manner and make a consideration. And if, in his considered opinion, you can add value to his leadership, and I think you can, he'll be able to make the appropriate decision. Finally, you people, good people, let's do what we must do and walk the straight path. When you go through Nairobi in these lands and you look at some of the buildings there, somewhere there is an engineer who appended their signature. During the approval stage, and as you continue with the construction, you have a responsibility, you have a destiny with history to do what is right and live to your oath of office so that we take care of our country. About you getting involved in projects, in 2018, I was a member of parliament. And in my earlier life, I was also a contractor. And I still do some little construction. You know, construction is very addictive. Very. When you have nothing to build, you knock a few things so that you rebuild them again. Even now, since I came to this position, I have knocked about 3-4 buildings. I keep on building every day. I brought a private member's bill in 2018, the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Amendment Bill of 2018. And in that bill, I had proposed, as a legislative proposal, that all procurement up to 1 billion Kenyan shillings be reserved exclusively for indigenous Kenyans. Again, in that bill, I had proposed what the CS was saying here to cure, that the 40% content for the local people be defined properly as a separate bid document, so that anything above 1 billion to infinity, the foreigner can do 60%, the local person can do 40%, but there are 2 bid documents in one, so that the foreigner will get the 60%, the local person who will join jointly at 40%, but paid directly by the employer. That bill was defeated, was thrown out in the Finance Committee when we had changes through the handshake nonsense. And these people came because they don't understand anything to do with investment. They came and killed that bill. And now that we are in government, me and the CS and the leader of majority in the National Assembly, I think we need to work on that CS immediately to make it very clear that the foreigner cannot shortchange the local person. You just do your work, you are paid separately, he is paid separately. Is that okay? I think that's what we need to work on. Finally, on pending bills, the President last week inaugurated the Pending Bills Committee, led by very eminent persons. The chairperson is the immediate former Auditor General. We have nearly 600 billion in terms of pending bills. And I know you people here are affected. I saw with my own eyes many people who did work for government, their property was auctioned, including residential houses. Many people went under depression. Some hanged themselves. Even families broke because of pending bills. And what we have done is put up a committee to scrutinize all bills, verify them, and then validate them so that those that are payable are paid. And we do away with this issue of pending bills because it is not good for our budgetary cycle. It creates a problem every year. So that exercise is going on, and in due course, we are getting organized as a government to put aside funds to clear all pending bills and progressively make sure that we avoid pending bills by asking the procuring entities not to enter into contracts unless the money is available, so that we do away with the issue of pending bills. So I'm sure that along the way, that should be done, and that should be able to settle the issue once and for all. So I want to say I'm grateful to talk to eminent engineers and to encourage you to continue having a discussion with our brothers from across the corner in the world, and sisters for that matter, and let's exchange ideas. My boss, President William Ruto, tells us every day, a good idea must give room to a better idea, and a better idea ultimately should give way to the best idea. This interaction and continuous consultation is healthy, so that what happens in South Africa, we can learn from there, you know. And the president from South Africa, one of your people came here to try to lecture us about this country. He came in the morning. By 2:30, he knew more than ourselves who have lived here for the last 50 years. So we want you to learn from here and quietly whisper your good ideas to these people, so that when we visit other countries, we share our experiences quietly. We don't go to lecture people from other countries because it's an African. It's not good. When you are a visitor, you come to my house. Even if I have not swept well, you don't have to tell me. You just look around and you can whisper to somebody on your way out that you could have done with a light touch, of course.